Hello and welcome to Security Matters. It's a program that highlights the activities of the Nigerian military and the sister service. I am your host, Kikelomo Okeri. Nigeria faces numerous security challenges that threaten the stability and well-being of its citizens. Some of most pressing security concerns include Boko Haram insurgency, banditry and kidnapping, which is rampant in the northwest and central region. Criminal groups engage in abduction, extortion and armed robbery. In lieu of this, the Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, says the days of notorious bandits leader Bello Turji and other terrorists is numbered, as troops are committed to ending insecurity in Zamfara and the Northwest Zone. The defense chief stated this when he paid a walking visit to the Sector 1 of Operation Adarin Daji in Gusau, Zamfara State capital. Let's take a look at the report. When we return, we will be speaking with a security expert on addressing security challenges in Nigeria, practical solution for a safer future. Let's take a look at the report.
Zamfara is one of several states in northwestern Nigeria terrorized by heavily armed gangs who carry out mass abductions for ransom, as well as burning and looting homes. The Nigeria Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, is in Zamfara State for one-day operational visit to the 1 Brigade of Nigerian Army and Sector 1 Northwest Operation Hadarin Daji. He first paid a courtesy visit to the state governor, Dauda Lawal, and announced that a joint military theater operation codenamed Operation Fansanyama Northwest will be established to tackle the spread of insecurity in the region. He added that additional helicopters and other fighting equipment will be deployed to the state.
Not tell you what we are putting in place, but definitely reactions have been there. Those areas have been monitored and adequate actions will be taken accordingly. And it's not only him. All other commanders very soon, just like the way today, yesterday night, will be able to take out Halilu himself. We're coming after all of them one by one. The good thing for them is any of them who is smart enough should leave the country. But as long as he remains on the foot of Nigeria, he's not going to last longer than necessary.
The Chief of Defense Staff also announced the killing of Halilu Sububu, a wanted bandit leader operating in western Zamfara, and a cash reward for the troops who carried out the recent operation that led to the death of the wanted bandit leader. The Zamfara State Governor, Dauda Lawal, appreciated the efforts of the security agencies in the state, adding that if Zamfara State can be rid of banditry, 70% of the security challenges in northern Nigeria will be solved.
In the Northeast too, we had civilian JTF, we were trained, they were profiled by the DSS and the police, and were deployed with our men, and they operated together. And that is what we're going to employ. And
so we're confident that with these efforts, and with the new measures put in place, it's just a matter of time, we will all celebrate. We are 100% behind you and your men, and we have absolute confidence that you will do what you promised. And we'll give you all the necessary cooperation in whatever means, for whatever capacity.
The Chief of Defense Staff proceeded to the headquarters of 1 Brigade Nigerian Army Gusau, where he was briefed on the operational activities of the Sector 1 of Operation Hadarin Daji and offered a minute silence prayers for the souls of soldiers killed in recent bandit attack in the state. Over 30 operational motorcycles, hundreds of ammunition and firearms were recovered during operation. For Global Television, Queen Agaba reporting.
You're welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is Security Matters, a program that highlights the activities of the Nigerian military and sister service. Joining me via Zoom to discuss security challenges in Nigeria, practical solution for a safer future is a security expert, Chidi Omeje. He is an editor with Security Digest. Good morning. Good afternoon.
Good morning. Okay. Good afternoon. Is it afternoon already? Good afternoon.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, very well. I can hear you.
All right, Chidi, the terrorist group has been active in the northeastern and northwest of Nigeria since 2009, causing widespread violence and displacement. What are the primary security threats facing the northwest region in Nigeria, and what do you think it can be done to address this issue?
Okay, thank you for having me. The primary security challenge in the Northwest, like you have said, is clearly the cross-border banditry that we are witnessing now. But you see, I like to class this kind of banditry is what I want to classify as terror bandits, because naturally, if you want to classify, if you want to differentiate between banditry and terrorism, you want to look at the foundational basis. Is it ideological, or is this about resource plundering? So, but in this case, the activities of the bandits in Northwest, is clearly terror attacks that are carrying out. So, banditry is actually the issue, and this banditry is region-wide, and it is quite very, very serious. So, to the point that you cannot say it's different from terrorism. Yeah.
All right, tension between the herders and the farmers, as well as the ethnic clashes, have led to a violence and displacement. What role can the ethnic and communal tension play in region security challenges?
I'm not sure why we're talking about farmers and herders, clash in Northwest now. It's no longer issue of farmers. We're talking about clear case of banditry. We're talking about clear case of overwhelming security challenge that is beyond just attack, just beyond farmers and herders. We are dealing with actual banditry, that have upturned the entire region. There you see, kidnapping in almost an industrial scale. On daily basis, you have attacks and counterattacks in in almost all the parts of the Northwest region, down to North Central, up to the Southeast. So the issue there is no longer that of farmers. But in any case, the question you asked about the role of maybe community leaders, of course, we've talked about the issue of all of society approach to dealing with security challenge, meaning that everybody has a role to play. And of course, the community leaders, the religious leaders, and of course, every other segment of leadership have a role to play, one way or the other, probably to deepen that what we call see something and say something. Meaning everybody should be able to help out in terms of maybe information sharing, in terms of supporting the troops who are dealing with the challenges one way or the other. So I mean, everybody, most especially leaders, have a serious role to play, because the problem is beyond just the security forces. Let me tell you, it's not dealing with the security challenge we have in Northwest, just like in Northeast and of course North Central and other part of the country. It's no longer issue of kinetic efforts. I mean, you have to combine kinetic operations and that of non-kinetic. You have to make sure that good governance is at play, because bad governance is actually at the heart of the problem we have. It is bad governance that engenders corruption and ineptitude, and the effect of corruption and ineptitude is poverty. And what poverty does is that it predisposes the people to make crime becomes attractive to the hungry man. So bad governance is at the heart of the problem. So we must deal with the issues of good governance to make sure that we because kinetic effort, military operations are just like dealing with the symptoms, but we got to deal with the disease itself. And the disease is making sure that the governance paradigm shifts from what we see now to something much qualitative. So Nigerians need to see a shift in our leadership perspective, because what we take a look, for instance, look at Zamfara State, for instance. The previous government of that state is widely acclaimed to have, led the state awry, and look at the facts. So there's actually a nexus between bad governance and spike and criminality. That's what I'm trying to establish here.
Okay, recently the Chief of the Defense Staff has established the Theater Command in the Northwest. Aside from that Theater Command, what other measures can be put in place to curb this banditry finally, at least to put it to a stop, to put peace in place?
Fantastic question. What the CDS have done is just to address the immediate. But if we're looking at the long-term solution, then you've got to look at, how you manage resource availability. So it boils down to good governance. It boils down to governance. Because it is this ineptitude in governance, it is this corruption-led governance that have, predisposed the entire spectrum, the entire region to, state of want. People are like living in destitute life. People are hungry. People are angry. People are irritable. People are susceptible to crime and criminality. So if you don't deal with the root causes, you are not going to get it right. But of course, we have to deal with the immediate. The immediate is what the Chief of Defense Staff is doing. Set up a operation. I'm sure we had one before. We had Operation Hadarin Daji, but I think he has changed it or something else. But it's okay. That's just the military way of dealing with things. But as far as I'm concerned, all those military efforts is just, for the immediate. We must, yes, as we are dealing with the immediate, as we are killing the terrorists, the bandits, taking them out one after the other, the 2Gs of this world, we got to get them down. Yes, that is important. But the underlying factors is what I'm talking about. So because you know why? If you don't deal with the underlying factors, after taking down the 2Gs of this world, another 2Gs will come up because the conditions are still ripe for criminality in those areas, because there's poverty, because there's despondency, because there is want. So these things are combined effect that bring about the situation we find ourselves. So if you want to talk about the immediate short term, the short term measure, yeah, we consider what the army chief, the defense chief is talking about. But if we're dealing with long term, how do we, you ask the question, how do we ensure that we enthrone peace? How do we ensure that we end this once and for all? Then we have to take a critical look at our governance paradigm. We have to take a look at, a fight against corruption. We have to take a look at, our leadership selection process, so that we don't end up electing inept individuals and corrupt individuals who end up, muddying the waters. Yeah.
All right, border security has been identified as one of the major causes of security challenges. What regional initiative can be put in place to address trans-border security challenges?
Yeah, there's a study we carried out a while ago. We call it drivers of security. Looking at what we call root cause analysis, and of course, we identified issue of cross-border issue of course, I talked about bad governance, issue of corruption, issue of drug. Small light weapons, but then porous border feature prominently because the northwest axis has proximity with the the Sahel region, and of course that the geopolitics in the Sahel region right now is a mess. You have a potpourri of political instability, economic hardship. You have cross-border banditry. Bandits crossing from Mali through, Burkina Faso up to. So this region, this route, has to be dealt with. Nigerian government, need to be very particular about that. But then we have a challenge. We have a challenge of the, the Mali, the Niger. Which other one? These ones are where we have coup, we have a military interregnum, who now say they are no longer part of ECOWAS, arrangement. So with those guys out of ECOWAS arrangement, so it becomes a little bit complex, how to deal with that situation, because you don't have a common regional arrangement. You have those guys, those military guys, they are cross purposes with ECOWAS. So it becomes challenging. But I assume that there's a committee of chief of defense staffs, in West Africa. Last time, about a month ago, our own CDS traveled to Niger Republic. So in spite of that particular division in this sub-region, I'm happy that the defense chiefs still have a platform where they meet. So now, back to the question, it is important that we take particular interest to that Sahel region, because that is where the cross-border bandits are coming through. So it is important. It is quite important to deal with. Yes.
All right, thank you so much, Chidi Omeje, an editor, Security Digest. Really appreciate your expertise and perspective on this topic. Thank you very much. We'll take a short break now. When we return, we'll look at the internal security in the Federal Capital Territory. And don't go away, stay with us.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is Security Matters. The Nigerian Police Force has refuted the narrative in the news of arresting people indiscriminately in Edo State. The force public relations officer Olumuyiwa Adejobi made this known while parading 14 suspects who are involved in various heinous crimes in Abuja. Let's take a look at the report. Addressing journalists in Abuja, the force public relations officer Olumuyiwa Adejobi explained that the arrest made in Edo State is in connection with the killings of the policemen within the vicinity of the airport in Benin City. He warns that the police will not condone any attack on its officers and men.
That for those that we have arrested, we don't know where they belong to. Whether they are businessmen, they are restaurant operators, or they belong to any political party. But we went after those who have killed our policeman. So for you to kill any policeman, you must have murdered peace, and you cannot enjoy peace again. The blood of those policemen will continue to haunt those who have killed them.
Some of the suspects paraded confessed to the crimes which they are alleged to have committed.
Have you decided to be stealing vehicles from your own kinsmen, your own people from Anambra State?
Size longer throat.
Pardon?
Longer throat.
Longer throat, not long throat.
Long throat, sir.
Or longer?
Long throat, sir.
He said it's longer throat.
I don't know, but because I was eager to make money and get
to be a DJ,
equipment for myself, I have been in my line of business for up to 15 years, and all this while I have been looking for ways to get money to get.
How much did you buy the DJ equipment?
I bought them for about 5 million.
Adejobi further calls on schools, churches, mosques, and recreational parks to collaborate with the Nigerian Police Force as the festive season approaches to fortify the area and ensure internal security.
It's becoming something worrisome, and that's why we all call on Nigerians to support security agencies to mop up these illicit harms from wrong hands. If you're in possession of something you don't value and you don't know the use, you may likely use it wrongly. And that's why they use these harms wrongly, the way it's not permitted under the law.
He also enjoined members of the public to be more security conscious while reiterating the commitment of the police force to remain steadfast in ensuring perpetrators of any crime to face the wrath of the law. Kike Lomo Okeri. All right, this is where we draw the curtain on security matters this week. Join me again next week for another episode on Global Television. We are on Star Time channel 276 and 365 on DSTV. To stay connected, kindly follow us on all our social media platforms at Global TV NG and our website at globaltvabuja.com. Till I come your way again, I am Kike Lomo Okeri. I celebrate you all.